When you realize the truth of what's happening in 99 Nights in the Forest, you'll question everything you thought you knew about the game. And it all begins here. Every once in a while, you come across something like this. Truly a tragic scene, but something's off, isn't it? You see bodies, you see something burning, you see cultists. At first glance, you might think it was just a fight between the cultists and the wolves. But think about it. The cultists, they don't fight the wolves, they don't fight animals. Everywhere else on the map, you see the wolves, bears, and rabbits walking right next to the cultists, and neither of them react. In fact, sometimes you come across cultists with animals in cages, so they clearly know how to handle them without hurting them. And if you think about it, every few nights, cultists walk across the dark forest to go attack you, right? Surely, at some point, they must have come across either a wolf or a bear on the way to attack you, and yet they still don't attack each other. Okay, so this can't possibly be the cultists attacking the wolves. How strange. Maybe the campfire in this little camp burnt down the tent, and that's why you see the bodies there. It would explain why you can see all of this burnt stuff all around. But wait a minute, we know what happens to bodies when they get close to a fire. They burn off. Okay, so the cultists did not attack the wolves, but we can clearly tell something was burning in there. But it could not have been a fire because the bodies are still there. If you pay close attention, you see what appears to be bones, roughly the size of either a player, a cultist, or a wolf. You can also see bigger bones on the outside of the tents. And speaking of tents, one of them has a huge rip on the side and some words written on the inside. It's always watching. Okay, so this makes no sense at all. We can tell something horrible happened, but it's not clear why. Let's put a pin on this, we'll come back to it later. We need to find something else that seems off for some reason, but it can't be some random thing like the burnt down tent in the middle of nowhere. We need solid evidence of something being seriously wrong here. Oh, that's right. The deer. The deer, the owl, and more recently, the ram. They all show the same pattern. During the day, they don't come out. But during the night, if you're not close to your campfire, they'll come and chase you down. You can try to shoot them, you can try to lead them to other animals, you can even try to burn them in lava, but they don't seem affected at all. Clearly, they're the bad guys, the horrible monsters out to get you in the middle of the night, right? But wait, they don't seem to care about whatever weapons you might have. But as soon as you get near the campfire, they'll stop and run away. Even if they're chasing you down, if you turn around and flash your flashlight at them, they'll run away. How can this be? These monsters that walk through lava, why would a simple light stop them immediately? Think about it. Light doesn't just magically stop after a certain distance. Light continues on its path unless it's blocked off by something. Yet, these monsters are able to walk all the way to the edge of your campfire, where it's barely bright enough to see them, but not too bright. So the light is not hurting them. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be able to stand near the campfire at all. Perhaps it's not the light that causes them pain or discomfort, but rather what the implication of light means. Light shining on them means that they can now be seen by others. But why would that scare them? I mean, they just spent the last 30 seconds chasing you down, despite all the weapons you had, despite you leading them to walk through lava. It's not like you suddenly get super strong because you're near your campfire or because you turned on your flashlight. It's not like you magically obtained a super weapon against them, so they're clearly not afraid of you or whatever weapons you have. They also don't care if the kids are there or not. They react the same way. So they're not afraid of you or your weapons. They're not afraid of the kids either. And they couldn't care less about the cultists. I mean, the monsters show up whenever we get attacked by the cultists and they never intervene. And yet, they are petrified of being seen. Not by you, not by the kids, not by the cultists. So it must be by someone or something else. Remember, it's always watching. Okay, we are deep into the rabbit hole. We have to find evidence of what's really happening here. And what if I told you that evidence is everywhere? Part of the game is to go around the map collecting items that you can then use for scrap metal, for example. You can find these items basically everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. Inside houses, inside sheds, out in the open. You can even get them when you're fishing. But have you thought about why these items in particular? I mean, it's awfully specific to find broken fans, radios, and tires, don't you think? All you need them for is to craft other stuff, so it's not like the only source of metal in a forest are car engines and washing machines. So there must be a reason why these specific items are not just found everywhere, but in huge quantities. Let's see. You have washing machines and fans. These are basically just motors. You also have car engines and tires, so a vehicle of some sort. Speaking of vehicles, you also find coal, gas canisters, and oil drums, which can be used to power the vehicles. You also have bolts and sheet metal, so some kind of metal structure. You can find radios and microwaves, so electromagnetic signals. Wait a minute. Electromagnetic signals? Radiation. It is at this point that the shocking realization hits. The missing children, you being sent to rescue them, it's all secondary to what's really happening here. Man, I feel sick just thinking about it. Walk all around the map. It's absolutely clear. Whoever used to live here, they weren't peaceful forest villagers. These people were building machines, metal machines powered by coal and oil, machines that used radiation to burn things from the inside out. Those poor cultists, they weren't fighting wolves. By the time they showed up, their pet wolves had already been hit with radiation. The poor souls that were resting in their tent, they never saw it coming. All that's left is their bones. Just like a microwave, electromagnetic waves can heat up the water molecules inside your food, which in turn makes your food hot. These sick people turned it into an oil-powered radiation weapon that can burn animals and others from the inside out without the need for fire. The deer, the owl, the ram, poor animals, they didn't ask to be turned into a monster. They mutated after being hit with radiation. They're scared of the light because it means these sick people can see where they are. The cultists, they're not worshiping some sick and twisted religion. They're hoping that these monsters can defeat these horrible people building these horrible machines. That's why they attack you, because they think you're one of them. And the children. It was never about the children. They just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Once the children got lost in the forest, these horrible people knew they couldn't get rid of them like they do with the other campers. Kids lost in the forest and never found, they would have way too many people trying to find out what happened. Then all of their horrible work and horrible machines would come to light. So they took the kids and hid them underground, where they know the cultists won't go. After all, the cultists worship the monsters, and they know that the underground is where the monsters live. So they left clues all around so that a simple, basic search party would be able to find the kids easily. Think about it. You really think the kids were able to hide themselves behind a locked gate? Or you really think the monsters built a separate set of underground rooms, decorated them with beds and toys for the kids, then built gates and then locked the gates with a key, just so they can hide in there for a little while until rescue comes? These sick people knew all they had to do was hide the kids safely until rescue arrived. Once the kids were found, nobody would go around piecing together the pieces of their horrible puzzle. Until now. And you know what? I forgot to mention one last thing. Remember how this video started? Somewhere out there, horrible experiments are being done on animals using radiation.